The Coonhound Collective podcast is brought to you by CZ Welding and Custom Dog Boxes. Dog boxes built by hunters for hunters. Check these guys out today. This is your host, Jason Snellgrove, and I will be your guide as we journey down the road to pleasure hunt or hitting the long trail to those great cob hunts. This is the Coonhound Collective podcast. Welcome to the Coonhound Collective podcast today. Today I have the honor of interviewing Mr. Gene Hicks. Mr. Gene, how's it going?
I'm doing okay. I'm doing pretty good.
That's good to hear. Good to hear. Has it been pretty warm over in Tennessee for y'all?
Ooh, it's real warm.
Yeah, we've kind of went through the same thing here. I don't know that Gene Hicks needs much of an introduction. If you've been around black and tan dogs for any time at all, your name is kind of synonymous with black and tans. But for somebody that may not know, why don't you just go ahead and kind of tell us about yourself, where you're from, and things like that.
Okay, my name is Gene Austin Hicks. I'm from a family of 7. I was born and raised in McMinn County, Athens, Tennessee, on March the 7th, 1948. That's where I grew up. I spent most of my childhood, school life there. I've got a high school education. I've got 2 years of college, and I went to vocational school 5 years. I worked for an outfit called Wild Western House for 32 years, 11 months. They moved in here from up north in 1970, and I went to work for them, and I was a service technician all those years. And I farmed some, helped I married Frances Joan Hicks in 1975, and we moved to Fleetwater, Tennessee. It's out on Blue Springs Road here in Loudoun County. Her family owned a farm and done a lot of farming and all that. They raised tobacco and watermelons and all that stuff. And growing up, I grew up coon hunting. First, I think my daddy took me on my first coon hunt when I was about 5 years old. I won't ever forget it. He was leading me by hand. We had an old white speckled female we called Belle, and he took me on that hunt. And we got about half a mile from my house, and I don't know if it was a bear or what, but it upset Daddy pretty bad. And so he just got me by the hand and took me back to the house. I grew up till I was 11 years old. I grew up right in the dead end of a holler, and down there in Athens, Tennessee, and we lived in a 4-room log cabin until I was 11 years old. When my daddy had a new house built in, and that's where I spent most of my time. I was in Athens, Tennessee, went to school there and everything until I was 18. A little past 18, I went in the military for 2 years and done real well. And I come back, went right back to my coon hunting, and I got my first register black and tan from Earl Gossett in 1964. My daddy he had crossed up dogs as all hounds, but he had all 6 breeds in them. They just crossed up dogs, and they was pretty good dogs. And he liked to coon hunt, and his brother coon hunted. My grandfather, he was a fox hunter, and most of his sons was fox hunters. But my daddy, he was a coon hunter, and that's how I got started coon hunting. But a dog called Big Flash, he was my first dog. I got him from Earl Gossett. He was one of the Gossett hounds, and my dogs still go back to that breed way back there years ago. Gossett and the Wagner dogs and those dogs. But he's my first dog, and I won my first hunt with him, or one part of a hunt. At Tellico Plains, Tennessee, 1965, I believe it was. We went up there in the mountains. They had a many coons, and right here in Athens, they was going to have the hunt up in that game reserve at night. And I borrowed my sister's car and drove up there in an 65 Chevrolet. I won best of show, and then I won, I believe, 3rd in the hunt. And I was just tickled death. It was as good as winning the world hunt back in the day. I never been so happy. And it come a big snow that night up there, and I drove back down that river road called North River there, Tellico River, and it was about a foot of snow on the ground. But I made it. I thought if I can just get the Tellico Plains, I'll make it. The roads are pretty straight and even after that, and I made it. But been at it ever since. Had black and tans, never hunted them black and tans except for I've trained a few dogs of other breeds for people. Hunted a few walkers. And in 1960, when I come back from the Army, a guy named Henry Brock, he had a real good white English female called Brock Frosty, and I finished her Grand Night champion. She's the first Grand Night I ever finished. She was a heck of a dog. And but since I come back from the Army, I never stopped. I've hunted all these years, about 59 years now.
Yes, sir. And that flash dog, that was your first dog you got from Gossett. There was a write up in the Black and Tan yearbook, and I think you may have told me that come from another article. You were about 15, is that right, when you got that dog?
I was about 15, yes, sir.
Yeah, and that you ended up spending quite a bit of time with Mr. Gossett. Is that right?
I just talked with him quite a bit, and when I first come back from the Army, I was interested in another. And I also he had gave me a female called Topsy. I named her Topsy, and she was out. His dog's on one side, and a dog from Alabama that he had bought to use as a stud dog called Southland's Midnight Pokey. And he changed his name to Gossy's Pokey, but I really liked her. She was my I got her after I had Flash, got to talking to Gossett, and he gave me that female to hunt one of his stud dogs, Gossy's Grid, all winter, and I did. And that's how I became Topsy. Boy, she was a great dog. She was going to be my foundation dog. In 1970, I won the Hawaii River Championship with her down there. It took about 6 hunts, and she's just an outstanding dog with a big mouth. And she was going to be my foundation stock, and I got her run over and kill. And anyway, I went up. I called Gossett, and Earl Gossett, the older guy, the original Gossett, he died. And I was dealing with his son, Dale. And I spent a couple of days and seen all his dogs and everything. And I picked this pup out. I bought me another pup from him, and I called him Thunder Mountain Mark. That was my first kennel name dog with Thunder Mountain. And Mark, he was out with a dog that was Gossett bred. He was called Night Champion Vanderbilt's King Mark, another dog that Gossett had bought to use as a stud dog. And I'll never forget him. I was thinking about him the other night. He was about the finest looking dog I've ever looked at. Boy, he was a nice dog. Anyway, I picked him out of 66 pups, this Mark dog. And he just started right off. And a friend of mine that hung with me for 40 years now, his name was Melvin Coleman, and he had bought an English dog out of Vincent Sam, big red and white dog, out of the world champion Vincent Sam. He kind of like blue tick in English. And of course, Melvin down through the years, he liked my dogs, and he handled several dogs for me, Melvin did, in the hunts before he got past that. But anyway, I remember that Mark dog, and very easy trained, and we treated a coon one night, and I climbed that tree. Mark was he was about 10 months old, and of course this English dog with Melvin had was about the same age. I climbed that tree and threw that coon out, and that just trained that Mark dog. Boy, he just made an outstanding dog right quick. Well, I got a whole little Wagner female. It's 100% Wagner breeding, and I bought her, and I bred her to Mark, and luckily I did, because I got the Topsy female run over and killed right after I won, about 2 months after I won the Hawaii River Championship, and they had a big arc on a big picture of her, and a Daily Posted thing, and that was the local newspaper down there, and boy, I still got that picture of her, but I got to run over and kill. Well, the Mark dog was just doing outstanding. I was just doing in love with him, but I bred that Dawson's Queen to Mark, and that's what produced Thunder Mountain Mango, and lucky that I made that cross, because then I got the Mark dog run over and kill. So I was left from scratch again. I started from scratch again with the Mark dog, and with the Mango dog, and that come right on up from then, always been a hard hunter. Used to hunt every night for years. I don't know how I've done it. At my age now, I'm 74, but I did it. I've never hunted nothing but coon. I've never deer hunted. I squirrel and rabbit hunted a lot when I was growing up. I loved that, but my only interest is coon hunting. Never killed a deer in my life. All these guys around here, they live to deer hunt. My grandsons, my sons, they love deer hunt, but I never done them but coon hunt. And I believe that's what a man's got to do if he's going to any kind of hunting. You only do one thing, you really do it right.
Yes, sir. So I don't know that I'm actually going to back up any, but I know me and you've talked on the phone a few times, and I asked you this, and just to clear it up for everybody, the Thunder Mountain, the Albert, and the High River, those are all one and the same dogs. That's correct?
That's all the one and the same. They're all Thunder Mountain Albert bred dogs, all of them. They all had the same bloodline all these years. I've crossed other strains of dogs into them, but I've come right back in those dogs. I'm the dogs I've had all these years. And they've done real well for me.
So in your breeding program, when you're breeding, are you line breeding these dogs to keep all that in? And when you outcross,
yes.
Are you just looking for certain traits?
Dog, if I find an outstanding outcross, I'll cross them into my dogs, and I'll go right back into my original stock, and it's worked real well for me. Yes, my dogs got a lot of line breeding.
Okay, so bring us up to the first Albert dog. How he come about, kind of, that's where kind of Albert 2 and that era. That's when I really kind of dogs.
And 19. I had Mingo, and then I bought a dog that I like, Alamander, called Sweetwater Smoky. I liked real well. Boy, I liked him real well, and as in the 77 or 78. Boy, just an outstanding dog. Made him night champion. I think Melvin helped me put a win on him, but boy, just outstanding track. Had a real nose on him, and he went back to, he had a little Gossett in him, but he went back to a bloodline of dogs. I was looking at his papers tonight. He went back to, you might remember some of those dogs, Hawkins Black Brandy, those stock of dogs, which Black Brandy was out of, I believe I have a dog called Hughes, goes to second. Of course, goes to second was Al Wagner's Tennessee Sampson. And anyway, I got that. I got that, I had Mango, but I got that Sweetwater Smoky dog. He just laid down and died. That was the introduction of Parvo. And at that time, and that's when it first hit, nobody knew what it was. And I lost him and a couple females and about 19 puppies at that time. Then I was over here in Middle Tennessee, and I always liked the stock of dog was called the Bloodworth dog, a dog called Bloodworth Black Bill. And I found this young dog, and I bought him, and he had turned out really good for me. I made him a dual grand, had a heckling nose on him. He was called Hicks' Black Bandit. He was about 1980. I made him a dual grand. He lived to be 11-year-old and sired about 600 puppies for me. Then I got a hold of a dog I liked real well that had some of my stuff on the bottom on him, but he went back to dogs like called Timber Roy and some of the Bloodworth dogs and those, but he was a real dog. He was a real Dynamite Dan. I made him night champion 3 first, and he won 5 straight champion hunts to make him grand knight. He was just an outstanding tree dog. He was a hot-nosed dog, but he could just tree more coons than any dog I ever seen. Full pressure tree dog. Never had over 50 coons shot out to him in his life, but once he got treed quick. He was hard to beat. I placed him 3 times, I think, at the Grand American, and one English sectional with him. I placed him in several bigger hunts back in, and he died when he was 12-year-old. Then a friend of mine down in Alabama's had something to do with his Albert dogs named Nathan Thornhill. Nathan, he died last year, a good friend of mine. He always had good females, and he had an old female, which these dogs, they go back to real heavy, and called Grand Night Champion Thornhill's Black Julie. And I bought a female from him, 2-year-old female called Champion. She was a show champion. I made her a night champion. She was champion, night champion, Thornhill's Oakshee Lucy. She was the start of the Albert dogs. She was the original star of the the Albert dogs. She was an outstanding female with a big mouth. And I bred her to a dog called Night Champion Coal Mountain Mort, a dog that Jerry English down in Georgia had. He was one of the best track dogs and tree dogs I ever seen. Big dog with a kind of a rough dog, about 80 pounds, but boy, he could drive a track and really run one in the water. He was a true dog of luck. But he was out of, I believe he was out of Tennessee Fiddler. I believe what Big Mort was out of. Anyway, that Oakshire Lucy, she was the start of my Albert dogs. And I bred her that Mort dog, and it was outstanding across. And Nathan Thornhill, he got one of the female pups, and he made her a night champion. He called her night champion Thornhill's Hopeless. And he bred Hopeless to a dog down in Alabama called Grand Night Champion Oakshire Willie Boy. I believe that's his name. I believe that's right. And that produced big time Albert. And as a boy, the Cox brother, one of the Cox boys' brothers down in Alabama had big time Albert. And then 8 or 9 months old, Nathan was telling me, he said, man, he just won an outstanding dog, Gene. He said, you ought to watch him go. He said, he just started training coon. He's 7 or 8 months old. He's an outstanding dog. Well, I tried to buy him. Nathan said, they don't have him for sale. You can't buy him. Well, 2 or 3 months later, Nathan Thornhill called me and said, Gene, that boy got sick and said the dog is for sale. So I left on Saturday, and it's about 3 hours down there. I drove down there, and it was pouring down the rain all the way. And I tried the dog out, and we had one strike. It had never quit raining. We had one strike, and the big time Albert dog, he never did get treated that night in that swamp. It was a real bad track. It was raining. It's unreal. But I made the boy an offer, but it wasn't what he wanted, and I started to drive away. Of course, Nathan was with me. I picked him up on the way down, and Nathan said, Gene said, well, I said, Nathan, I know you. We've hunted a lot together, and I said, you think I need to buy that dog? He said, yeah, you need to buy him, Gene. Said, you'll like him. Well, I just went back, drove off, and I went back. I bought the dog, got him home, and I started hunting him, and man, he was just wild. I mean, back in, didn't even have a tracking collar, and had never started using them. I think they was available, but I had never got into them. But I lost several days' work because the dog would, he'd just leave, and I didn't know where he went. I'd find him treed, 3 or 4 hours later, and never ever really getting old in a hurry. Well, I bought me a new set of tracking equipment, and things started changing real quick. More than I realized then, I had me an outstanding dog. Big Time Albert was real good looking dog, about 55 pounds. The only thing I didn't like about him, he had a curled tail, and he curled it plumb over his back, plumb down on his side. But boy, he was a powerful dog. I won the Georgia Hall of Fame with him, I believe in I guess it's 1989 or something like that. Anyway, he won down there both nights, and the boys were down there watching him, and he just performed outstanding. I think he treated about 2 or 3 coons on Friday night, and he done the same on Saturday night. Then I went up to Grand American, and double casted winner up there with him. He won big, and boy by the name of Bart Nason, he kept in front of me about buying a dog. I reckon he had a lot of money, and he just offered me so much that I couldn't stand, which I sold him for over $10,000, which was a lot of money back in 1990. But anyway, I've already had my eye on 2 pups out of him, and in Oklahoma, and I just heard they was outstanding. I had a friend of mine go try them out. They wanted like $1,500 a piece for them, so I bought both of them. Which one of them turned out to be 2-time Albert, and the other was Diamond Bill. And at 11 months old, I believe I get $1,500 a piece for them. That's what I get for them. And I just couldn't believe it. They was like hunting, either one of them, both of them, just like hunting 3-year-old seasoned dogs. Boy, just outstanding. And I wanted to keep them both, but this guy come down here a while later, and I think it was about 20 months old, and I done made my mind up I was going to keep the 2-time dog, which he was a good-looking dog, but he wasn't as good a looking dog as Diamond Bill dog, but he was the fastest dog I ever seen go, 2-time dog was. But Diamond Bill dog was real nice, too. He's almost as nice. And this boy popped up down here from West Virginia, which he ended up later buying Big Time Albert, too. And his name was David Watts. And he just offered me so much for the Diamond Bill dog that I sold him. And that's how that come about. And he kept him until he died. He was about 10 years old when he died. But 2-time Albert was was the start of things really started happening, boy. I mean, I'd won with all those dogs I've mentioned, and done good. That two-time dog, when he come into play, boy, it just didn't matter who was on the handle. He was just an outstanding dog from the start, and we could. He died early at 7-year-old. He'd sired 821 pups, but he was a winner. Every time you cut him loose, he won all kinds of hunts. He placed at the Grand American. He won overall winner at the Winter Classic in 1994 and 95 both.
And I believe he's the only dog to do that still to date, if I'm correct.
He's the only dog that's ever won the Winter Classic twice, and he scored 750 the first year. Mitch Logan done the handling both years. He knows the dog, and he was from Georgia, but he moved to Tennessee. Mitch, he handled him all the time. And in the second year in '95, he scored 1,000 with him down there and won it. Wasn't even nothing close to him in the cast. Of course, he went on. He won. I won the Georgia Hall of Fame with him that same year in '94, the first year. Have a Winter Classic in January, and the Georgia Hall of Fame was March, and he went right down there and Mitch did one it with him in '94. Georgia Hall of Fame, I believe he scored 875 on Friday night, won it 675 on Saturday night. But we went on, several people handled two-time Albert. I handled him, Mitch handled him, the guy named Alan Roberts handled him. A boy named Randy Cole, he handled him, and he won two-time. He won the Winter Classic twice. He won the Georgia Hall of Fame. He won the Georgia State. He won the Mississippi State, Alabama State, and won the Grand National Blue Ticker Union. I think he was second at Red Bone Days, and he placed at Black and Tan Days. I think Mitch placed him up there twice, and the win national, that was all national wins, and they just never did end. And he's just an outstanding dog. And once he come into play in 1994 and won the Winter Classic, then turned right around and won Georgia Hall of Fame, the females started coming in. From 94 to about 96, we bred about 180 females.
That's quite a bit. And I've actually got an article pulled up here. And in 1994, as honestly, 93, 94, 95, if it was a major event, he was either winning it or was in the top two. He was also in 94, Purina Outstanding Night Hunt Coonhound of the Year, second overall.
The only reason I didn't win it, the whole thing, cause.
Hey guys, this is Jason over at the Coonhound Collective podcast. Is your dog box starting to get wore? Maybe it's starting to get a little cracked like mine is. Maybe you've just been thinking about it's time to upgrade to a new box, but you've asked your buddies and you're just not real sure what direction to go in. Well, let me help you out here. Go check my friends out at CZ Welding and Fabrication, Custom Dog Boxes and Aluminum Products on Facebook. You can check out all their custom work they do there and their designs that they do. If you don't see something that you don't exactly like there, reach out to Nathan at 540-810-5439, 540-810-5439, or send him a message through the Facebook page. I bet he can fix you up. Don't wait till fall to get that new dog box. Go ahead, get that dog box now. Get you something looking good in the back of your truck that you can be proud of and that you can haul your dog around in comfort. Check my friends out at CZ Welding and Fabrication. You won't go wrong. Dog boxes built by hunters, for hunters. Get yours today. CZ Welding and Fabrication.
That Purina hunt, you gotta have a lot of money and you gotta have a lot of time. And those boys were all trying to hammer us, trying to go as much as we could. But after about 6 months of it, I said, this no way. The one Purina hunt being up north one weekend, out in Iowa the next, and south in Mississippi the next, and it's just almost impossible to make those hunts. So I just quit, and we ended up finishing second overall though.
Yeah. And well, the just the wins that I'm looking at here, and I don't think they're all on here. This is an older ad that I'm looking at, and I mean it's just impressive what that dog did in the short 3 or 4 years there, of all the stuff he won. Qualified for the PKC World, placed in the safe Jude hunt, qualified for the UKC World, qualified again for the PKC World, of course the Winter Classic 2 years in a row, Farina, North Carolina, RQE, Georgia Hall of Fame, and he actually won that also in '92. Is that right?
92.
Yeah, I think so. Georgia Hall of Fame champion, night champion winner, scored
That was
575 plus.
that was in I believe it was 94.
Okay, yeah,
He won the Georgia Hall of Fame in '94. After he won the Winter Classic in '94. I believe that hunt was in March, and like I said, he scored 875 on Friday night, 675 on Saturday night. He won it overall. But now, Big Time Albert I had placed him in 1990 down there one, and he was the high scoring black and tan at the Winter Classic that year. He was a star. He's the first one that won at the Winter Classic.
So with two-time Albert, obviously his win record speaks for itself. But what made him different over the other hounds to be so successful?
He's such a dominant dog. I never seen one. You didn't have to worry about him. Every time you cut him loose, he was going to go hunting. He didn't mess around and go hunting. I remember I handled him I won the Grand Night at the Alabama State, I believe in '94. And man, I remember that I bred a female that evening. I was a little uneasy about that for a guy. I bred a female down there, but as soon as I cut him loose, boy, we just slammed in there and just slammed the coon. Shut the rest of the dogs out on it. We dropped him again, and he done the same thing to him. Then he got far away, got deep, and got treed, and I treed him, but these boys' dogs, they wouldn't do no good, and they ended up pulling them out, and we drove around there to him, and he went so far, but that was his game. You know, he was extremely fast. I never seen a dog of any color, anywhere, any breed. Two-time Albert. Now he had a big ball mouth on a cold track, but on a running track, he was chop mouth all the way, every breath, just as fast as he can bark, give a lot of mouth, and he's extremely fast, you know, and a coon run it all. Two-time Albert would be outrun the rest of them. Just is unbelievable. That dog just couldn't stay with him. He just run out from under them, and he just had that knack, and he just unbelievable. He was wasn't the best layup dog I ever seen, but he was a good layup dog. But boy, he didn't do no cheating. He done everything straight up and wide open. His first strike dog, every breath track dog, and he when he come treed, he had a big old OK, easy call, and he went into hard ringing chop, extremely loud. People that if he'd never won a hunt, people that hunting with him may want to come and breed to him because of his style and what he had. You know, and no matter how hard it was, and one thing I say, he put something in all these dogs that's still here, and it don't matter how hot it is. These dogs, they hunt any time of year, you know, they're just that way. They're bred that way. The heat don't bother them. And Two-Time Albert was an unbelievable tree dog. He was 125 to 135 bark minute tree dog on every tree. Boy, he won a lot, but boy, his style, boy, just to see that sucker run and tree a coon, and people couldn't deny him, and they went with him. Boy, they just shake their head. You know, he's something special. He was a special dog, extremely fast. When he was young, he started training coon. He's 7 or 8 months old, and I bought them both out of Oklahoma. Him and Diamond Bill both dogs. They was already training coon by themselves, and the only trash he run gray fox a time or two. Other than that, never did run deer. Never did run any kind of junk or anything. He just come here a coon dog. That's all there was to it.
Yeah. So you alluded there to what he put into your breeding program. Let's talk about some of the puppies that you've had out of him that you've been successful with out of two-time.
Well, start with Three-Time Albert, just right behind him, boy. Just outstanding dog. Finished him dual grand at 20 months old, and he was the one this year that was just outstanding. Another dog was I'm trying to think. I go a little blank sometimes. You have to forgive me, but Three-Time had a litter mate called Flippo's Mr. Big Shot. Jerry Flippo owned him, and in 2003 he won the Winter Classic. He was a litter mate the 3-time. He was an outstanding dog. And I'm trying to think the other one's name. It was Albert Flash Change was the other one. They was I believe there's 3 males and 1 female in that litter. And 3-time Albert was just an outstanding dog. Good looking dog as you'll ever look at. And he just outstanding dog too. He was a totally different type dog. And 2-time Albert, he was a good strike dog, good track dog. Most accurate dog I've ever seen. 3-time Albert was the most accurate dog I've ever seen. He's a quick locator. He'll always have the coon. I can count all the coons. He died in his 11-year-old. I can count all the coons that 3-time Albert missed on one hand.
Yeah, that's pretty impressive in any breed you are. And one thing that I wanted to touch on there, I know me growing up, I of course most everybody knows that I'm a black and tan guy at heart, and had dogs out of your dogs, and a lot of the older guys would tell me, yeah, there's no need to mess with that puppy till they get older, 12, 15 months or whatever. And you had dogs starting before a year old, and that was kind of before its time.
People say, well, a dog's got to be 3 or 4-year-old to be a coon dog. That's not true. I learned that real quick, and by having these dogs, and then come along. 3-time had 2 sons, boy, that's hard to beat. Sundown Rider and Thunder Mountain Eli. Sundown Rider, I had a dog out of 3-time. I just finished dual grand, called him Pretty Boy Albert. And I had another year, he wasn't out of 3-time, but he had he was all my stuff on the bottom. He went back to the what's colored dogs on top. I'm trying to think of them. But anyway, he was a 3-year-old dual grand, but I got them dogs killed up in West Virginia. The boys shot them off a tree and killed them. The boys hunted them for me. I was supposed to pick them up this weekend, but got both of them killed off a tree. And anyway, I had Eli. I had Pretty Boy and Sailor, and they was a little older than the Eli dog, and the Eli dog was about 8 or 9 months older than the Rider dog. I had 4 outstanding dogs, and I really had 5. I had another pup here that I picked up from Bill Schenker out, that Jet dog, and he ended up going back to Bill, and he made a grand dog. I trained him. I sold him. He's about a year and a half old. I believe the dog was I forget what I called him, and I don't remember what Bill called his champion name, but he made him a Grand Night champion. He was one of the last dogs that Bill Schenker had. But anyway, getting back to the story there, Sundown Rider, and Rider come along right after Eli did, and I had Eli up in Merlin, boys hunting him. He got trained in bear up and got real bad on him. He was about a year old, so I had him brought home. And I found out I couldn't hunt him around bear anymore. Eli was a tree of bear. But I brought him home, and all them bear hunters all were trying to buy him. And bear hunters, boy, love good bear dogs. And the Amish up there was trying to buy him. Everybody offered great prices for him. But, he was also, after I brought him home, I just never did hunt Eli the rest of his life. And he died at 11-year-old around bear, and he didn't do him but 3 coons. He had a big mouth on him, good locate. But Eli, he was a little older than Ryder, but Ryder I had those 5 young prospects here, and old Ryder, he was the youngest, and I sent him over here to a boy's lot. I had never hunted him, teased him with a coon hide one day, and I threw the coon hide up on top of the building up there, and I went to town. I come back, and old Ryder still had that thing treed. So I sent him over to a boy over here that had a coon lot. And he started pups, and he put him in that coon lot, and he had never been hunted at all, and he's about 8 months old. And this is a story on Ryder talking about, I'm getting to that age story. And Ryder, he was about 8 months old, and I kept him over 1 month, and that boy called me and told me, he said, boy, you been hunting this pup? I said, no, he's never been hunting. He said, man, he trained his coons, and said, I have to go get him, bring him to the house, and said, he goes right back, and said, he was just doing real good. But I brought him home at 9 months old, started hunting Ryder, and he was like hunting a 2-year-old good hound, boy. I mean, it's unbelievable. So, sent him up to West Massey and Maryland, and West, at 11 months old, put 3 first place wins on him. and made him night champion. And he brought him home a month or two later. That was November, and Ryder was made night champion 11 months old. Well, the Winter Classic was coming up in January, and Mitch, he was an Eli fan, and of course, Wes was handling Ryder, and Mitch, the Eli dog, he was no slouch. The Eli dog finished dual grand at 20 months old, and the Ryder dog finished dual grand at 16 months old. So them two sons are three-time anyway. They took him down to the Winter Classic, and Mitch had his heart set on winning that thing again because he'd won it twice, two-time. But Mitch, he won. He drawed a cast of dogs on Friday night, and he won a cast of 275. Then on Saturday night, Mitch scored 675 with Eli. He done real good. And old Ryder, Wes, he called me a raising a cane and a cussing on Friday night. He drawed out the wrong club. I said, well, ain't nothing you can do about it now, and just maybe do better tomorrow night. But then on Saturday night, Ryder got a good draw, and I think a couple of dogs ended up scratching out. I think Ryder finished the cast by himself, but Ryder scored 11.25, and he was about 14 months old when he won the Winter Classic 2005. And he went on, Ryder, that same year, won National Grand Night Champion in Autumn Oaks with 875. National Grand Night Champion, breed champion black and tan. Eli dog, and also Ryder in 2007, he won first place at Grand Night Champion at Black and Tan Days, 925. But the Eli dog was a big winner too. He was house going breed winner at the Grand American in 2005 and 2006. They placed in several other hunts, but both of them just outstanding dogs, and people around there was talking about them, had two of them at the same time. My brother saying, hey, Gene knows which one of them dogs. I would never tell nobody which one is the best because neither one of them was better than the other. But I kept saying, I know Gene knows which one the best, but they was a pair of dogs, different style dogs, but they could dominate everything else they drawed, but they couldn't dominate each other every night. One would better one night, and next night the other was better. That's just how powerful they was. I just rookied on them. And powerful dogs, set of dogs. Those pair of dogs right there, I just enjoyed hunting them much as I've ever owned. And I owned a whole host of them.
Yeah, I would say so. And the dogs that you've owned and the dogs that they've won and the events they've won speak for themselves for sure. So after Eli and Ryder, what was your next dogs there after you moved on from them?
Never did get what I wanted out of Eli. Ryder, I had two dogs out of him, Sundown Sassy and her littermate brother, six-time Albert. I believe I'm not getting ahead of myself. Sassy made her night champion and sent her up at Wes's, and she had her for a couple of months, and she come back sick. She had 4 wins. She had her and six-time Albert had both won. Six-time won the Tennessee State hunt here around, they call it the Massville hunt, they call it the Tennessee State hunt. I started campaigning Sassy first, and she was the better of the two. She was top dog, just like Ryder. She'd follow tree just anytime, anywhere, and have a coon just outstanding. I made her night champion 3 first, and she was a grand show champion too, and they had 4 wins toward grand night champion, and she laid down and died when I brought her back. That broke my heart, boy. I just offered all kind of figures for her. She was 3-year-old, had not been bred or anything. She laid down and died. And I started campaigning six-time, and six-time was an entirely different dog than anything I've ever had. Extremely cold nose. She had a nose like Eli, a real cold nose, and wasn't what I call the most impressive competition hound, but he was. But he had an extremely good nose. He could treat any kind of coon any time, and he ended up being a grand night champion dog. He died 3-4. He was an outstanding dog too, and he died at 10 years old down in Louisiana, down there at my buddy's house. And both them dogs was outstanding dogs, and they just the best two out of Ryder. Like I said, never did get exactly what I wanted. I had some good dogs out of Eli, but didn't get what. And I had several other dogs out of 3 Time. They don't come to mind right now, but I've had several, like the Pretty Boy dog. He was just outstanding. Two Pretty Boy dog. I got shot off a tree at Merlin. He was, in my opinion, he was the best of the 3. He was a 2-year-old dual grand, and boy, he's a looker. And I got him shot and killed, and of course got the Sailor dog killed too, and both of them dual grand dogs. And that's a big blow to me. Boy, it really set me back. And them dogs like that, they're hard to get over. And that happens. You got great plans for them, and you got them both killed, and then Ryder and Eli come in. They were just a set of power dogs to be proud of. Just great dogs. I believe both of them dogs. I believe they died in 2011, something like that. They both lived about 11-year-old. 3 Time dog lived to his about 11-year-old.
So I'm looking at an ad here, a stud ad, and the ad is actually on 6 Gun Albert, but it's at the time this ad come out, you had 6 Gun Albert as a stud dog, 2 Time Albert, 6 Time Albert, and Thunder Mountain AJ. That's
AJ. I forgot about AJ. AJ was out of a 6 Time Albert.
Yeah, so that's a full-time job with that many stud dogs.
I had just 3 or 4 years ago. I had 5 here. Of course, I'd made a cross in 2012. Of course, 2 Time died in '97, but I had some semen on him, and one time I used the semen, and I had 7 pups, and I had that cross. It produced 2 Time Albert 2, which he died about 3 or 4 months ago. He was a dual grand champion dog. He was past year old, and had a sister, Night Champion Star, and she died about 5 months ago. She was also down in Louisiana. Queen female that I had, she died about, I believe, in April 2 years ago. I believe Queen died. And them dogs was all litter mates out 2 Time semen pups, and there was 7 of them. One of them that's still alive is a dog called Thunder. I think he's in Montana. I think he's a fire dog. I told him to Ken Duncan, and 2 Time Albert 2 was an outstanding dog. Star female, she was outstanding. She placed at Black and Tennessee. Ryan Stewart placed her up there. She just died, and those dogs are directly out 2 Time Albert. There's semen dogs out at him. The only one I got left now is the Cracker female, and my nephew had her, and Jeff Hester had her, and she's a litter mate, those dogs, and I've still got her now. I got her bred now to the Roy dog. She might have pups, she might not, but she's the last one of those semen dogs out 2 Time Albert.
Okay. Through the years, how much collecting have you done on your stud dogs? Have you collected all of them, or was it just certain few that you done that to?
I collected 2 Time Albert, and that was it. It's a headache. It's a headache, and it's very expensive. And I never did have 3 Time collected, and I regret that. Now I had the Ryder dog collected. I still got 4 or 5 straws on Sundown Ryder, and need to use it, but I never have. I believe I had 8 straws on him. I got 4 straws left up here, and Ryan Stewart's got 2 straws on him down, and so we got 6 straws on the Ryder dog. Got 1 straw left on 2 Time Albert, which probably never used, because main thing, I kept my bloodline up. These dogs here, they all the same thing. They're generations, those dogs, and I'm happy with what I got. They all take off quick. 3 coons early, and it seemed like all down through the years, my breeding program just got better and better and better. I watch what I do, and I'm real careful, and I'm real happy with what I've got, what I'm doing, I'm competition. I used to do a lot of competition hunting. I've been everywhere, and I've hunted everywhere and won a little bit of everything. But I'm 74, and I've had some sickness lately, and I don't know if I'll ever competition hunt anymore or not. I don't know. I'm not changing the subject or not, but go ahead, get back to your questions.
Oh, all I was going to say was what you said there about your breeding program getting better and better. I heard a podcast with Mr. Mullins that has the Mullins Feist, and he didn't collect either. And he said one of the things he said that stood out to me was he was always looking for something better than what he had in his breeding program and carrying it along. And I think in our conversations that we talked about, that's kind of what you've done, and that's where you're at with High River Roy today.
Are you tired of whipping, scolding, and shocking to make them get alone? Is your buddy tired of helping you set your dog up for correction night after night? Do you really want your dog to be alone because you forced him to be? Or would you rather him be alone because he wants to be? Grand Night Champion Small Town Lone Survivor is the product of over 25 years of strong natural-born independent traits. This bold trait has been passed down from generation to generation and is showing up in Loner offspring today. Loner is a direct son of Hall of Fame Grand Night Champion Cabin Creek Rowdy and Grand Night Champion Lonesome Dove Lori. Loner has a booming mouth that is talked about in every cast he has been in, including the 2021 World Hunt Finals. Loner is a no-reverse, ball-mouth open trailer who ends it plussed up with a huge dying locate and steady chop. Loner loves getting split and is a stay-put gun-pressure tree dog. Loner's intelligence is also impressive. He knows over 12 voice and hand signal commands. Loner has a character that loves like Jesus, but he doesn't walk on water. If you're interested in breeding to Loner, contact Brett Stevens at Small Town English Kennels at 417-300-3777 or find him on Facebook.
If you're interested in running a stud ad for your dog here on the Coonhound Collective podcast, reach out to us at thecoonhoundcollective@gmail.com. Send us a message through Facebook or Instagram, and we'll be glad to get with you to get you an ad built and get you pricing on all of our ads.
Well, getting back to the semen deal, it's very expensive. I can afford it, but it's a gamble when you go to breed a female. Females just gotta have them checked every day, and they charge. When you make the breeding, when you go to breed one, it's $800 to $1,000. That's just the whole story. That's what it costs. And to get it done, if you get pups, fine. If you don't get it, that's the way it is. And like I said, I don't have to use semen because I've got it right here, same thing, and I've always kept a lot of Grand Night dogs, and the AJ dog. Now he was out of 6-time Albert, and he was out of old Jill female. The old Jill female I had, she was also the mother of my 2-time Albert 2 dog, and she died about 3-year-old. She had a lot of 3-time in her top and bottom. She also had some mares in her. And she's just an outstanding female for me, and it's hard to beat. She produced. She's the mama of AJ. She is the mama of my Albert 2 dog and my Queen and Star females and those dogs. Don't want to leave her out. She is an outstanding female.
It seems like to me.
I've had a lot of outstanding females down to. There's always been a male dog man, but I've had some outstanding females too.
Yeah, and
I got some good ones right now, but go ahead.
I was just going to say, it seems to me that in these litters of puppies that you've bred with the select breeding that you've done and picking out, that you've had a pretty high percentage of success rate on pups that turn out of the litters.
I never get nothing but good reports on my puppies anymore, and I sell. Believe it or not, I've never bear hunted, but I sell to as many puppies the bear hunters I do coon hunters, and I used to try to keep up with the competition game and stay in the circle as far as the champions list. But like I said, I've championed a lot of dogs myself, and I tell you, it's a hard game. It's a long, hard road. I've had a whole host of Grand Night Champion dogs, and I think the last time I counted, I think it's 24 or something like that. Just Grand Night Champion dogs, not counting all the Night Champions, Show Champions, Grand Show Champions that I made down through the years. But it ain't no easy road, and it's a pretty good road just a Grand Night Champion one dog. And I've had a host of them, but Thing about it, they stay behind my fence up here. They can't be made up. They gotta be powerful. I'm a man that never did love to get beat. That's what I've been all my life, and I expect no, I won't. I can't handle it if they know what they ought to be. They can't stay up here. I demand the best, and when I go to hunt still, they find out the dog Gene Hicks, they start getting a little nervous then, because when I take a dog to a hunt, it's a dog to win. I ain't gonna hunt. I ain't taking no counterfeit out there. I've won a lot of hunts in my lifetime. I've been at it a long, long time. Won a lot of hunts. Lot of hunts.
Yes, sir. Do you, from the time that you started, excluding electronics as far as tracking system, shock system, do you see any change in the dogs and what was coon hunting then and what coon hunting is now today?
Pardon me now, I didn't get all of that. Repeat that.
From the time that you started coon hunting years ago up to today, excluding the electronics part of it. Of course, electronics has changed since we started. But do you think the dogs have gotten better over the years that you've had them? Are the dogs better today that you had them when you started?
Yes, they're better. Okay. They're better. But, I missed something a while ago. I don't, I sell puppies to hunters, any kind of hunters, cat hunters, bear hunters. I got a guy right now out in Alaska wanting cat dogs, and I said, well, they'll make bobcat dogs if that's what you want, bear dogs, whatever, But I breed for coon. That's all I've ever done is coon hunt. But my dogs do good on bear and cat and all that stuff. But I was getting back. I don't, just try to, keep up, with the champion list and have them in the, this and that. But now, I just sell the pups, and I don't get no. Anybody comes here nowadays, I just sold a litter of 10 pups here last week, and everybody here that come here to get those puppies just like the way they look, what they seen, and all my dogs, they just said they never seen anything like it, and yeah, my dogs, any kind of coon and big game, they perform, and my dogs got a lot of hunt, a lot of drive, a lot of speed, and the number one ingredient I breed for is brains, and I've got it, and I'm real happy with what I've got. I know I'm on my last leg. I'm on a downward stroll, but I'm gonna keep going as long as I
can. Yeah. Well, we've been at it close to an hour, but before we close it out, I do want to mention, or you talk about High River Roy. I know he's the dog you have now. He's a good-looking dog, and kind of tell us a little bit about him, where he come from.
He is 6 generations of my dogs, and his mother, I called her Ellie, and I took her. I was thinking about, I made a cross here a while back. I bred let me get it here. I can't remember everything just like I want to. Let me get here. Roy's pedigree here.
Well, I can tell you what you've remembered just in our short conversations is more than I can remember most of the time.
Well, my wife says I got a good remember, but I've been losing it a lot. But anyway, what brought that about? I bred this star female, she was a 2-time Albert female. She was one of them semen pups. She died here 5 or 6 months ago. She was a litter mate of my 2-time Albert 2 dog that just died, here 3-4 months ago. He was a deal grand dog. Boy, he was a coon dog. I was really happy with him. And he was out old 2-time in jail. I mean, yeah, he was out old 2-time in jail. That was a semen dog I raised in 2012. But what brought that all about, I made a cross here a while back. I bred that star female to Miss Logan's mountain monkey dog, a dual grand dog. And Monkey was out of Grand Night champion Logan's 4-time Floyd, a dog that I bred and raised as a pup here. And I let Mitch have him. He'd handle a lot of dogs from me, and I let Mitch have old Floyd when he was about 10 months old. He took him over Middle Tennessee, and he wanted to hunt with him. We ran up Black 10 days when he was 11 months old and placed him up there. Guy, Ed Abel tried to buy him, and I let the bitch have him. But Floyd was out of a Grand Night champion, Grand champion, 3-time Albert and Bakers. And, well, she's Thunder Mountain Mandy now. I sold old Mandy later. But now old Mandy, the only outcross dog right here, that Mandy female, that Floyd's mama, she was our Super Sting, Oasis daddy. But anyway, I was thinking about this. I bred that star female to the monkey dog. And I had litter pups here, and there's a pup in that litter board. I just had my eye on, and I wanted to kind of keep him for myself. But Mitch's buddy come up here, and he just had to have that pup. And he calls him Bert. And he's a cold black dog, and he's just outstanding coon dog. He's placed him twice at Black and Tan days, and that's about all he's ever been in. But he lives down there on the Washoe River, and he's about a 55, 60-pound dog, just cold black, good-looking dog, big mouth on him. That river down there where Ellis lives, called the Hiwassee River, and boy, Ellis says that sucker said if you don't keep him up, said he'll swim that river 2 or 3 nights a week, tree a coon. And I'd hunt with him. I knew he was an outstanding dog. Anyway, I got thinking about something, and I had a female here called Ellie, Thunder Mountain Ellie. And Ellie, I sold her a year or two ago to a guy up in Virginia, a black guy. And Ellie was out of Grand champion Hicks' Thunder Mountain Eli, and my Thunder Mountain Mini female. Well, old Minnie was out of Grand Night champion Sundown Rider, and my Diamond Jill female. And okay, that was kind of doubled up there. But that Ellie female, boy, she was just an outstanding dog. I saw Mitch, he hunted some, and everybody hunted her. She go through your coon. And I decided to breed Ellie with that bird dog. I bred and raised as a pup that Ellis has got now. So I went down and I made that cross, and there's 5 of them puppies, and that is where however Roy came from. That's what he's out of, and he got all my dogs here, top and bottom, 3-time average, 2-time big time. Mitch's best dogs, old Floyd and old Monkey, and those dogs all. Grand Night dogs come from here. And you got all them dogs double up our 6 generations, top and bottom. And that's Roy's 6 generation, 5 generation pedigree here I'm looking at. But he's all my stuff, and really proud of him. Him and his sister Rena, Rebel Rena, I call her. I kept him and her, and there was 5 of them, and Ellis got a male, and he's a good dog. And I sold a male to a boy in South Mississippi. He's a good dog. Another female, there's 3 males, 2 females, and she's over on the coast of North Carolina. Tried to buy her back, I won't sell her. But anyway, I got Roy and Rena here, and it's just been big things that's happening. They started I think I showed them a coon or 2. Then at 9 months old, they treated their first coon, and they ain't never looked back. Both of them was just outstanding pair of dogs I've ever hunted. I wouldn't trade them for any that I've ever had down the years. I've not campaigned them other than show them. The local shows made them both grand show champion. Both of them are just outstanding dogs. Roy dog is a highly intelligent dog, extremely good looking dog. He's all the dogs I've ever had, I've had a lot of good-looking dogs. He's in the same class as a Thunder Mountain Mingo dog. I mean, that's saying a lot. Roy dog is one of the best-looking black dogs ever walked. I've looked at all of them in my lifetime. I've judged the World Show, UKC World Show 3 times. I've judged the Winter Classic twice. I've judged all the state shows. I've been a bench show judge since 1970, and been a master hound since they first opened that up to. Anyway, I know dogs and what they're supposed to look like, and this Roy dog is just an outstanding looking dog. But he's highly intelligent. Boy, he goes hunting, and just soon as you unsnap him by himself or the other dogs, make no difference. He got a big rolling ball and chop mouth on track, and comes on the tree with a big rolling, kind of a big, I don't know, it's kind of a big rough ball, then he goes into hard ring and chop. And she's the same way. She's chop mouth all the way, but she's outstanding. She's probably as good, not better than Roy. But both of them just outstanding dogs. Both of them outstanding water dogs. I went hunting here one night last week. I've been sick here a while back. I had a stent put in and had some other issues. And I backed up on my hunt the last couple of months. I've started again. I went last week and it's been extremely hard, you know. I loaded up 4 dogs myself. I loaded over 6 gun average. We forgot about him. We ain't talked about him. And 6 gun, I loaded him and Roy and Rena up and a pup out of 6 gun average. I call Mr. Albert. He's a pup, 9 months old. Well, my 6 gun Albert dog, and my old cracker female. 6 gun Albert. Now he won his first hunt. He's 11 months old. He won 3 first, make night champion. I won 6 gun. He won 8 out of 9. He won 8 out of 9 casts to make grand night champion. I only lost 1 cast with him, and them boys. The reason I lost that cast, them boys put the possum on me at night. But that 6 gun dog, he's coming 6. He's an outstanding dog. He fell out of a tree about 3 years ago, and he started getting real heavy, and now he's low thyroid. I give him pills twice a day, but he's still probably the best dog I got here. He is 6 gun Albert is 6 generations, all dual grands on the sire side, going back to big time Albert. I'll name them. 6 gun Alberts out of 6-time Albert. 6-time Alberts out of these dogs I mentioned now, all dual grands. 6-time Alberts out of a Sundown Rider. Riders out of 3-time Albert. 3-time Alberts out of 2-time Albert. And of course, 2-timers out of big time. That is guns sire side. His mama is a female that I found for Ryan Stewart. She's a grand night female. She's dead now, but that's Gun's mama. But this Gun dog is one of the better dogs I've ever owned. Boy, he's all my dogs on the top, 6 generations of them. And right now, he's a Gun dog is a UKC show champion, grand show champion, night champion, grand night champion. He's a PKC champion. He's got 6 wins toward a grand night champion too. I just ain't took the time to put them other 2 wins on him. But he's just one outstanding dog, 6 gun Albert dog, yes. A little bit better than a Roy dog, not much, but the Roy dog, I really like him. I like him as well as anything I've ever hunted. He just got it and looks and ability. And Roy, he's a very dominant sire, man. It's like I just sold 10 pups out of him. He sires a whole litter of puppies just like himself in the color and type. And he puts that big mouth on them. I just sold here. I got sick here a while back. I had 2 young dogs, about 11 months old out of Roy that I raised. I had 2 males and a female. Still got the female, but I sold one of the males up to up Minnesota, and I sold the other one out to Ken Duncan out in Utah. Scott Black and Tans. He's been getting dogs from me since 1975. He coon, cats, and bear hunts all. But he got a lot of dogs from me. But the dog that I sold, a guy in Minnesota, he was outstanding pup. I called him Diamond Jack. Those guys paid for him, but kind of regret selling them. But there's out of Roy, my Big River female, and she is a female of the old line. She goes back to a lot of the old Wagner dogs, and she just crossed outstanding on Roy, and I'm real high on her. But yeah, I'm real happy with the Roy dog. I like to be able to take him and campaign him. He's got everything you could ask for in a dog, and looks and ability. I couldn't ask for any more. I took him. I treated one coon the night. It's hot. I said, man, I'm gun. He's too heavy. And I led those dogs out of the wood, put them up, and I brought them home. And I put them up, and my second place where I call the lake, I just took Roy by himself. I went up there and I turned him loose. We went in there and struck. Went left-handed 171 yards and slammed the coon. A little rough getting to him. Well, they changed the roads in there on me. They changed them little roads. They cut new roads in there. The guy that owns it has. And I went the wrong way, even my garment there. Got about a half mile the wrong way, and Roy struck and treated another coon. And when I had that, and I got him rounded up, I mean, that's a good night around here. I done seen 3 coons, 1 in the first place and 2 here. Then I started back, and I Roy was the other way, and I'd come on toward the truck, and I got over close to where I got some feeders and corn feeders and stuff. Old Roy come through there and passed me and went over and fell a tree, and there was 6 coons up that tree, and old Sal about 5 little ones. I had a pretty good hunt. See 8 coons in one night around here. Usually 1 or 2 is all you'll do.
Yeah, I would say that's a very good hunt. That sounds like us here. If we get 1 or 2, I'm tickled pink, and more than that, I'm just super excited.
But I didn't mean to leave that 6-gun dog. Yeah, that 6-gun dog is as good a dog as I've owned any of them. He's a top-notch dog. You know, the only fault if he fell. He had never tried to climb, but he treated a coon about 2.5 years ago, and he fell into another tree, and he just got on that thing, walked up over where the coon was, and fell off about 65 foot. It about killed him. But he swelled up like that, and, I had him checked out and everything, but he's low thyroid, and I give him pill every day, but he's still an outstanding dog, boy. He's Albert all the way. He's big, good looking dog. He's a dual grand dog. He's a nice dog. Like I said, he's PKC champion. He's my main dog here right now besides Roy.
Well, we've been at it a little over an hour, and we have covered decades of black and tan dogs there at your kennel. And I'm sure within all of that time frame, you've got a coon hunting story or 2 you can share with us, whether it be funny or serious or whatever. So if you don't mind, I always try to end the podcast with a good coon hunting story. If you got something you could share with us, that would be awesome.
Oh, let me see. I'll have a lot of coon hunting stories. I don't know which one.
Well, when you've been in the business as long as you have, there's definitely some stories there that can be told. That's for sure. Just sitting around a coon club somewhere, and you get to telling stories, and that's some of the best times to me.
Yeah, that's true. I was trying to think about one of the funny ones. Like I said, my memory ain't the best. I like it, baby. I was trying to think one of my best funnier times. I can tell you about some bad hunts too, and some cold hunts. I'm a guy that's hunted. I've hunted. I hate to say it, but you don't always have hunting partners or anything. I've hunted a lot the last 4 years by myself. I still do a lot of hunting by myself. I'm not supposed to go. These grandsons, they stay on me when they can't go, but I still go a lot by myself. But I just can't think of my funniest story right now.
Yeah, I do quite a bit of hunting by myself too, and I used to didn't like that. I used to like to go with somebody, but I've gotten where I'm messing with so many young dogs now. I just about want to go by myself. That way, I ain't bothering nobody else, and I like to take a dog by itself and come back and get another one, and I can kind of have my own schedule.
Hunting by yourself, you train a lot of dogs. You can train a lot of dogs hunting by yourself. Not meant to, but I've been down through the last 40 years, especially. I've been a hard hunter, and a lot of times even your best friends don't want to go. And I had 2 sons. Neither one of them made coon hunters. One of my sons died in 2010. The other one's in the Philippines right now. He's building a big store over there. But anyway, I got 2 grandsons here, and both of them, especially Logan, they've coon hunted about since Logan started hunting. He started hunting at about 5-year-old, but here lately he's backed off it. But he's married and got 4 little girls. And the other one, Grayson, he just got a new boy just been born. That's the only one he's got. But them boys, they hunt with me quite a bit and help me, and with the dogs, and that's appreciated. And I'm just hoping that, like I said, neither one of my sons made coon hunters, and these grandsons that started out that way. But I spent my whole life building this bloodline of dogs, and I was just thinking back the other day. I told my wife, I said, something happened to me. I said, I hope there's somebody I'll take these dogs over and promote them right. I don't want these dogs just go to anybody. I'm very picky about my dogs. I take the very best of care of them. It's like checking their ears and making sure this and that. I'm at the dog kennel at least twice a day. I take care of those dogs like they're my kids. And that's the way I am. That's just, I like to really, take care of stuff, but I hope, if something, I don't plan on, I probably won't be around too many more years. I hope I do, but I'm hoping somebody will come, promote this bloodline of dogs and keep them going, because they are a good strain of dogs. Spent my whole life at it. I guarantee you they'll stand with the best and show or hunt.
Yes, sir.
They'll do it.
That's for sure. Maybe your grandson's there. I know life kind of sounds like it's caught up to him right now, but I'm sure if it's once it gets in you, it's hard to get away from it. I got out of coon hunting for a little while when I moved from Alabama to Missouri, but I tell you what, every fall when that first snap of cool weather would come along, and man, I'd get the itch like there was no other, wanting to be in the woods with a hound. And I finally was able to buy me a place where I could have a hound, and got a few here now, and I really enjoy it. And I hated that the years that I missed coon hunting.
Oh yeah. Well, I've hunted year round. And always have. And I've always been I love to hear a black dog go in there and run trick coon, boy. I love to hear a black dog trick coon. I like to hear any kind of good dog trick coon, but I like to hear a black dog trick coon. I like to hunt just in my veins, and I'm hoping somebody will take him over and go home with him one of these days. I'm hoping that, but you probably think I'm the craziest fella you ever talked to, but I get a lot on my mind, but I can't think of any.
Yeah, no,
I just ain't ever.
No, you're good. This has been good. I really appreciate you taking the time to do this. I know we've
a lot of people stop by here. A lot of people stop by here just to look at the dogs. I got here right where I'm sitting. It's quite a little show, pretty good little showroom. Got a lot of history on the wall. Got a couple of collars here, plumb back to Mingo and Bandit, and got two-time average collar hanging up there. Got 94, 95 champion on it. Got a lot of history here on the walls. A lot of dogs, and even got a picture here over here on the one side. It's got a cover of old Full Cry magazine. Is Mr. Hans Wagner with three of his dogs. Pretty good picture. It's back in 1965. Got all kind of stuff. Anything you want to see here, but a lot of people stop here and say, it's a hard thing to get used to too. You appreciate people's interest in everything, and but a lot of people stop. And it's kind of got old, but I really appreciated all the people down through the years. It supported me, and helped me. I've had a lot of people help me with the dog, but I've had a lot of people, interested. And stop here. A lot of people stop here to just see the dogs, and that's okay. It's a part of my life. So anybody that read this podcast is welcome to come see these dogs, even if I can take you hunting. I guarantee you like what you see when you come here, and I can back up everything I say about any of these dogs in the timber. It won't take them just a few minutes to show you what they can do, and they're pretty same every night. Sometimes you can have a bad night, but I don't, these dogs, after all these years of breeding them, I know what I'm turning loose.
Yes, sir, for sure.
It makes it kind of worthwhile.
Yeah.
Not bragging, but it's facts,
Yes, sir. And that the original plan was I was going to come out and we were going to do this in person, and things with life and stuff kind of got in the way, and I wasn't able to come out there. But I'm still making plans to get out there and meet you in person and shake your hand. And I definitely want to check out your, as Trevor Wade relayed to me, your black and tan museum that you have there in your study there in your house. So.
And also, let me bring this in. I don't know if you want them, but if you just take I've always been a picture person. I've got thousands of pictures. I've got pictures of all these dogs down through the years.
Yes, sir.
I passed them around. But anyway, I didn't mean to interrupt you. Go ahead.
No, you're fine. You're fine. Well, we're a little over an hour talking here, and I know you've been out in the dog lot, and it won't be long. It'll be dark and time to turn a hound loose. Is there anything else that we missed that you wanted to cover, or anybody you'd like to thank before we close this out?
Ooh, there's a lot of people I like to think, but I hate to start mentioning names before I leave somebody out. But I guess I have to thank my wife. For Joan, she just, a lot of wives don't go for that coon hunting, but for 47 years we've been married. She's never said a word. If I'm gone somewhere on a hunting trip, she's right up there feeding them dogs. She's been real supportive, and I probably couldn't have done what I've done the last 40-something years without her. She's been real good, Joan has, and she's been real good for the dogs. She's been real supportive, and she's been a helping hand, and that's a lot, she's been a blessing to me.
Yeah, yes, sir. Well, and
But I've had a lot of friends. Well, I had a friend, Miss Loggins, Alan Roberts, guys like that. I can just list a whole bunch of them that's handling and helping me, and hunting dogs for me, and I appreciate all of them. I hate to keep naming names because I don't want, start naming names and leave somebody out. But, it's a long time ago. People don't know. They don't remember back in, but I got into black and tans early, and there's a lot to be said about Earl Gossett and Gossett hounds. There's a lot to be said about Hans Wagner and those dogs. I'll tell you what, those guys they're two of the originals, that started breeding those dogs, and it's the hounds we got today, and a lot of people wouldn't have them. Those guys was foundation, breeders, and they knew what they was doing. And also, I've looked and I've read their books and their pedigrees, and that's also helped me in my breeding program. Those guys are dead and gone, but I look at a Wagner pedigree on a dog here and a dog there, and I said, well, how you bred those dogs and how he'd go out and come right back. Gossett would do the same thing, and that's the way you get. And like Gossett, he started out with a longer eared type dogs, but then one of the first dogs that he brought in, the medium eared type was a dog that was Wagner bred. And that was a dog called Gossett Sagacious. A lot of people don't know this, but that was a Wagner bred dog. That wasn't a Gossett dog, but that ended up being one of his biggest stud dogs. And those guys are wanted to be guys like Joe Bloodworth. He bred those dogs for several years. I was 7, 8 years old when I watched him, run those ads on Bloodworth be on Big Tim. My Uncle Peg, he bought one of those dogs. He couldn't get one out of Bill. He was like 26th on the waiting list back in 61, I guess. And he ended up with a pup out of Big Timber from a daughter of Black Bill, but called him Big John. He turned out to be a pretty fair dog, but he didn't turn out to be the dog that my Uncle Peg was looking like. Back in the early years in the 50s and 60s, those like my daddy and those guys, they had those dogs crossed up, black and tan, blue tick, Walker, everything in them, and they thought at the time those dogs was the best they was, and even up in the early years in the 50s and 60s, from up in the 70s, they still have those grade casts. But I know today those crossed up dogs, they weren't as good as what we're hunting today. It don't matter if you're hunting Walker, black dogs, or blue tick or what. They was good dogs, but they wasn't what my daddy and other people thought they was. Big three coons, but they wasn't the type kind of dogs I hunt today. I knew that, same way with other breeders,
Well, and you hit on something there, Mr. Gossett, Mr. Wagner, Bloodworth, them, they were the foundation breeders, and, also Gene Hicks has done a lot for the black and tan breed, coming through the years, trying to take care and protect that bloodline and keep good dogs bred year after year. And whenever your name's mentioned, it's just synonymous, like I said at the beginning, with black and tan coonhound. So, the work that you've done to keep your bloodline going and only outcross when you needed to get what you needed, I think speaks a lot, and it shows in what your dogs have done and what they've won.
Well, I like a good hound. That has been my first goal. I'm kind of guy, and I think everybody be that way. I never been satisfied. I've never been satisfied, and I think that's the way a man ought to look at it, and that's the way it's been for me. I'm always trying to better my dogs, and I'll say this, all down through the years, I've seen all kinds of different things happen. I know back in the 70s, there's a lot of it, 80s, and some of the black tan breeders even. There's a lot of people, back then, you might call what you say crooks, and they put papers on those dogs and everything trying to get wrong. But I can tell you right now, I ain't ever put no papers on no dogs. I ain't never cheated nobody in the hunt. I'm straight down the line. I've kept a pretty good reputation down through the years. I'm sure people say bad stuff and as well as good things about me, but they can't say old Gene was like it. I've kept it straight down the line. That's the way it's been here, because if something wasn't right up here behind this fence, they couldn't stay here. I just ain't gonna get into that stuff. But back in the old days, and a lot of the dogs have come about, different breeds, false restoration, things like that. But no, they gonna happen here. I built this breeding program, and it's honest. And I've tried to be honest myself, and I try to be honest with everybody I've ever dealt with, and truthful with them. I tell them the truth, and I've always had a job. And I've never been in the dogs as a business. It's always been a hobby to me. I've sold a lot of dogs. I spent a lot. It don't matter, but it's something in my lifetime, and I enjoyed, and I'll still be doing it when I die, if I'm able. I like a good dog, but hey, saying this, I'll let you get off here. You or anybody is welcome to stop here and see the dogs.
Well, I do appreciate that, and I do plan to try to get out there and meet you in person, like I said. And I do want to thank you for taking your time to be on the podcast tonight. And I know we've been trying to get this set up for a little while, and I really do appreciate you taking your time to be on here.
Well, I hope it'll be all right. I hope I'm bad about get to thinking and change the subject on a man, but that's me.
Yeah, you're fine, Mr. Gene. I really do appreciate it for sure, and I thank you for taking your time to do this and kind of discuss your line of dogs. I think it's important not only for the black and tan breed, but for coon hunting, period.
I hate to say it, but the last 3 or 4 years, I've been kind of seeing just every night coon hunting falling by the wayside. I don't hope it don't die out on us, but it could.
Yeah. I don't know if how many pleasure hunters are out there. I still see, competitions going on, open events being, hunted, every night of the week pretty much, and dogs showing up there, and, they're not no great big numbers, 40, 50 dogs, but, nowadays, we're on a Tuesday night, we're pulling, 8, 10, 12 dogs on a Tuesday night.
That's good.
That's pretty good, I think, still. And, I just think it's a different time than what it was, before.
It is. Sure. Back 15 years ago, you go to a spring hunt, you might look at 30, 40, 50 dogs at a local hunt. Right. You don't see that anymore. Do you?
No, sir, you don't. But yeah, we there's just so many hunts now. I think that contributes to it as well. I can be at a hunt every night except for Sunday night, probably within an hour and a half, 2 hour drive of my house. Every night of the week, every week. So, I think that contributes to the numbers at some of these local hunts. But they're still around here. There's still a few pleasure hunters, but a lot of them are, hunt, just in the winter time. They don't hunt through the summer when it's hot, but there's still a few pleasure hunters around for sure. Thank you, Mr. Gene, for being on here. I really do appreciate you taking time to be on here tonight and talk about your dogs and the history of them.
I appreciate you.
Thanks, guys, for listening to the Coonhound Collective podcast today. We really appreciate you taking your time out of your day to listen to the podcast. If you don't mind, head over to Facebook and give us a like, and head over to Instagram and give us a follow. It's both at the Coonhound Collective. Also, if you would like to reach us here at the Coonhound Collective, you can reach us at thecoonhoundcollective@gmail.com. If there's someone that you would like to hear on the podcast or a product that you would like to hear talked about, please send it to thecoonhoundcollective@gmail.com. Thanks again. Have a great day.